Hey guys, welcome back to my channel Moon Stars and the Sky Tarot. And today I have a video about Virgo sun sign. First, I will give you some details about the Virgo personality, and then I will speak about my own personal experience with Virgos. So, Virgo is from the dates August 23rd to September 22nd. The symbol that represents them is the Virgin. Their modality is mutable. The element that rules them is Earth. Their planetary ruler is Mercury, and they are the sixth sign of the zodiac. The parts of the anatomy that they rule are the intestines and the nervous system. And some key words that are used to describe them are analytical, intelligent, reserved, critical, and helpful. Virgos tend to be very self sufficient because they give a lot of importance to responsibilities. And if they don't give importance to their responsibilities, they tend to worry themselves to death. Even once they've decided to not give something importance or to be irresponsible with something, they can't truly be at peace with not being responsible for that thing because they tend to worry about it even though they're not interested in it. And this isn't to say that every Virgo you meet will be a workaholic, but if they don't feel that they are useful, they do start to have a vague feeling of discontent. So they often will be involved in some kind of project or somewhere where they will be valuable, where they can bring something to the table because they like to be useful. Virgos can often be restless and somewhat nervous people because they fear not being able to perform to their highest standards. This is when the critical side of Virgo emerges because they pay close attention to every detail, whether it's in their work life or their personal life. Their close attention to detail helps them to learn the ins and outs of any subject, and Virgos are the perfectionists. They want to be masters at whatever it is they choose to work on, and Virgos feel that they are at their best when they are respected, appreciated, and useful. And also, some of the famous Virgos that you may know are Jada Pinkett Smith, Beyonce, Michael Jackson, Kobe Bryant, and Zendaya. Now I'm going to speak on my personal experience with Virgos. I've had plenty of friends that are Virgos, and one thing I will say about them is that they are very helpful, and sometimes to the point that it is to their detriment. They can be so agreeable and so available to help other people that sometimes they do end up getting used by others. Also, I get the sense that the people that they are good to sometimes do take advantage of their helpful nature. Like, people don't really set their boundaries sometimes with some of these Virgos. Another thing I've noticed about Virgos when it comes to their dating life, their love life, and their approach to it is that they are their symbol that represents them is the Virgin. But I've met a lot of Virgos, and I could say that there are two extremes when it comes to the Virgo. You'll either meet a Virgo that is very conservative, very virgin like. They might be a virgin, actually, and they're very conservative in their approach. And there's the other extreme that you can meet a Virgo that's very promiscuous. And I've never met one that is in the middle. I've never met one that's been able to really balance that out. So I think with Virgos, you either get virgin or promiscuous person. I could be wrong, but that's just been my own experience. Another thing I've noticed about Virgos is that they are very intellectual. These are people who can listen to a situation and point out exactly what it is that's wrong with them, especially when it comes to responsibilities. If you have a Virgo friend and you're telling them about how somebody else is trying to put some responsibilities on you, especially if you sound like you're being taken advantage of, that Virgo will be very quick to point it out. Like, don't you see that this person is taking advantage? Don't you see that this is not your responsibility? And I feel like that's more of the evolved Virgo, those that have experience being used, know how to set boundaries. Another thing I can say I've noticed about Virgos is that they are very neat in their appearance. Both the men and the women make sure that they have a very clean look to them. Their hair is done, their outfits are put together, and they keep their personal hygiene together. And also I see that most of the Virgo women are very into makeup and making sure that they look perfect. Like, if you ever want someone to give you a good critique about what you can do better, or about what kind of makeup or clothes or colors would complement you, a Virgo would be your best bet, because they can really look at you and analyze what will work best for you. Another thing I can say about Virgos is that they tend to be very hard on themselves. Whenever they try to achieve a goal and it doesn't go their way, or they can't achieve it in the amount of time that they thought they could, they do start to get depressed about it. Like I said previously, if they can't perform to the high standard that they hold themselves, they do kick themselves for this situation. Another thing about Virgo is that they're always thinking, and it makes sense because their sister sign that's also ruled by Mercury is Gemini. And Geminis are very mental, they're very in their heads, they're always thinking about something, and that's what I feel Virgos are like also, but just not as fast paced as a Gemini. Virgos tend to think about a lot of things that they need to do throughout their days. And that's why it's essential for them to have a routine set for themselves, because it's what will help to manage their stress and their anxiety and nervous energy. And as you know, Virgo is the sign of habits, routine, getting work done. So this is something that Virgos have to master in order to move forward and be able to realize their projects. Another thing about Virgos, they do tend to be very shy and to themselves at first when they meet you. But I get the sense that that's just because they may be nervous. They don't want to say the wrong thing or do the wrong thing. And they are also watching you. Like I said, this is the sign of the critique, of the critic. And they will watch and see how you act and how you respond to things in order to get a picture of what kind of person you are, and to see if you're the type of person that they will be around for the long run, or if you'll just be a work relationship. And Virgos are people who, once they do get to know you, they will warm up to you and they will be more talkative, more communicative. And also, another thing that I've noticed about Virgos is that they can be very good at managing their money. They are very good at conserving their money. They are not the type that will typically spend on things that they don't need. And I do see that the majority of them, once they decided that they're gonna purchase something, it's something that they've thought about before purchasing. Like, they don't just buy any random thing because it's hot in the moment. These are people who can really show you how to conserve your money and to keep a budget because they are mindful of how they spend. And this was my take on Virgos. Thank you for watching Moon Stars in the Sky Tarot. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.